Good morning, everybody. As you might be aware, in China, lots of people use electronic motorbikes, including myself. They are extremely useful because, you can, how can we say, bend the rules of traffic a little bit and get to where you have to go faster. I personally use it to go to work and back. But unfortunately today, I'm on my way to my bike because it gave up on me a few days ago as I was driving to work. And I'm going to share with you the process of considering whether to fix it or maybe biting the bullet and having to get a new one. And I want to take you with me for the ride, pun intended, although we're not going to be riding much for the moment, I think. So come with me as I show you the reality of owning and using an e-bike in China in 2025. Let's go. All right, here we are. This is my e-bike, which at the moment doesn't work. Now, I bought this about 8 months ago, second-hand. And this bike has been modified in a few different ways. I'm gonna share that with you. Number one, front suspension and back suspension are higher and they can support heavier weights. The wheels are quite thick compared to, so look at this wheel in the back and look at the wheel of that bike. It's tiny compared to this one. Then of course it has bigger brakes. The front and the back, some controls here to choose the different driving speeds. So it has 3 modes. Basic one is about 60 or 65 kilometers an hour. Second one about 95 or 100. Third one over 100 kilometers an hour, which is scary because this is not a big bike and it's not very heavy. So I guess they also modified the bike for that purpose. That chassis has been added as well, so that makes a longer wheel-to-wheel distance, which I think helps with stability. And inside, of course, the engine, you can't see it, but it has I think 2,500 watts electric engine. And the most expensive part of this bike is, of course, the battery. So this battery, as you can see in the quality of the craftsmanship, this is not the original battery. This is a bigger capacity battery. So in the store where I'm gonna go later, I'm gonna take you with me. They've given me a price for the battery alone, which is 5,500 renminbi. And remember, this bike, the whole thing was 6,500. So that's why I'm saying that depending on what's being broken in the bike, I will have to choose whether to replace a part if it's not very expensive, or if it's too expensive, maybe I'll consider just getting a basic bike without any of the modifications, or maybe go for another second-hand bike that also has modifications, because the purpose is I use this to go to work, but I also can choose to go to the city when it works. So now I'm gonna guide you through the process of taking this broken and not working e-bike all the way to the city. Let's go. So picture this. You have, imagine if I was in Spain, I have this motorbike / e-bike that doesn't work, and I have to take it to a place which is about, as you can see here, 24 kilometers. How can I do that? If I'm in Spain, what I would do is either ask a friend who has a van where I can fit the bike. Personally, I wouldn't even think about who could help with that at the moment. Or I can just rent a van, go get it, like drive to the place, collect the van, come back with the van, put the bike in myself, I think for a couple hours, I remember I could pay about maybe like 30 euro, 30, 40 euro if I wanted to get a van for a couple hours. The thing is, smaller cities won't have the option of renting for just a couple hours. So here's what China has to offer. This app here, it's called Huolala. So as you can see, inside the app, there are there are a couple of, actually a few options of vans that you can choose from with different prices. So in order to be able to fit my e-bike, I'm gonna choose this one that says 中面. I think it's like the bigger version of a cargo van. I think not the biggest ones, but like big enough. So as you can see, the price is about like $8, and that means there's a driver with that van that's gonna come. It's gonna pick me up. It's gonna help me put the bike inside the van. It's gonna drive me all the way to the city, about 24 kilometers, whatever that was on the map. And the cost of that is going to be $8, $9. I don't know what the conversion rate is. Maybe a little bit more than that. But I mean, it's just so convenient. So I'm gonna order and wait for it. I'll keep you updated. The driver is here. While I go get him, I just wanted to share a little bit about the battery and stuff like that, because the thing is, I could go for a very cheap e-bike, like a new e-bike, maybe for 2,000-3,000 RMB with a small battery and stuff. The thing is, I consider having a bigger battery and a bigger engine because going to the city, to Guangzhou, from where I'm living, by car may take about 50 minutes, sometimes an hour if the traffic is really bad. And that includes using like highways, you know, that there's just so many cars. However, if I use the e-bike and I go on smaller roads, but bend the rules of traffic a little bit, I can cut that down maybe to like 35 minutes. And even though my daily commute to and from work is about 3 or 4 kilometers, and it's just literally like just across a bridge, I still want to try to keep the bigger bike so I can have the option of maybe reaching further. So my bike at the moment drives for about 100 kilometers. And if I get a new one, that number will come down to maybe 50 or 60 kilometers, but the speed is much slower. So like I will be limited to maybe like 40 kilometers an hour, and sometimes that's frustrating. So anyways, I'll bring you in the car with me, and let's go to the bike. Let's see what they say. Here's the car. That's my driver. 朋友. How are you? There he is, doing everything. Very helpful. And we are on our way with our best friend and driver. See you on the other side. And after 30 minutes of driving, we are now here at the store. They're still actually not open, about 5 to 10 minutes. So I guess I get to be the first customer today. While I wait for the guys to set up the shop, I want to show you a few of the models that are new in this kind of brand. It's called Xiaonu. They have a website for outside countries, but there are some models that are not, I think, road approved in other countries. So I'll just give you a glimpse of what's around here. So these ones here are electric motorbikes, which means they require a license.
Yeah.
And they need to have the plate number like a real bike.
Yeah.
And this one is
6,200 with 70 to 35.
6,207 with the smaller battery, and with the bigger battery 7,500. This one almost the same, you said, right?
6,200 with 70 to 35.
And both can do about 100 kilometers or 120 with the bigger battery.
The Pro one can get 120.
And the speed is about 60, but it could be bigger, a little bit bigger with the bigger battery, right? Maybe 65, 70 kilometers an hour.
The Pro one maybe can get 63 or 4. No?
Okay, all right. The smaller ones here, these are normal e-bikes. And 4,000... 600 with the regular battery, and then this one
6,400 and 8,000
with the bigger battery. The bigger battery can go how fast and how long?
The distance about 100 is bigger one. Speed 60.
60. Okay.
The cheaper one distance about 70. Speed about 55.
Okay. So we are in Xiaonu's store here in the bicycle city in Guangzhou, and I'm gonna leave the description, the location. The man itself, Odor, is the boss here, and he can hook you up with a good discount. They have a lot of bikes to choose from, good prices, and I'll leave the location in the description, and I'll update you with the latest about my bike. Okay, very good news. They just checked the battery, which is the most expensive component, and they said it's okay, the battery is okay. But there are two things that may be in need of replacement. One of them is sort of like the center console of the bike, which they told me is about 500, maximum 500 renminbi, which is what, like $70? Or it could be the motor, the engine inside. If that's the case, it will be a bit more expensive, about 800 renminbi, which is about like 100 something USD. A bit more details about the fix. So apparently they will have to check first of all which of the two components needs to be changed, and it looks like I'm not going to be able to get the bike with me today because they might have to order some of the components. Now, ordering in China is really fast, so like I expect them to get the parts in maybe like 1 or 2 days maximum, and it's not the same as it would be in Europe, where if a part is on back order, that means you have to wait like weeks or something. So yeah, it's been a successful trip, hopefully, because I expected to have to pay much more money. So I will take this as a win. Okay, so 3 days later, and also a haircut later, I am on my way to pick up the bike to the city. The fix was cheaper than I expected, because the battery has not been affected, thankfully. It was the internal cable installation that was done poorly, as you can see in these videos that I'm going to put on the screen right now. This is one of the risks of buying a modified second-hand bike. You don't know what you get in unless you're like professional, which I am not. And so, you know, I paid my price. The total amount of the fix has been 1,600 renminbi, which comes at about $200. But well, considering my initial thoughts about maybe replacing the battery, which was going to be like 4,000 or 5,000 renminbi, or possibly having to buy a new bike, I will definitely take this over that. And so I'm happy that you know, it's fixed for cheap, and also that they got to replace the whole internal part of the bike, because now it will be safe. So I didn't know I was riding on a ticking bomb for like a few months. And here is the fixed bike. I'm happy to report that inside the battery they did change this connection. Now it looks much safe than before. They told me that it was pretty erratic the way it had been done, but now this baby is running. I've already tried it a few times, and I've driven fast, and everything is good. Mission accomplished.